welcome you back to Black Side Tonight. I want to talk about the Kevin Samuels interview with Nicki Minaj. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment on this video. Kevin Samuels did an interview with Nicki Minaj, and Kevin had to know before Nicki came on to do the interview, she was ready for the nonsense. Nicki had basically told her Twitter followers that she would put Kevin in his place. But Kevin, with this interview, stayed extremely professional. I know there's plenty of people out there in the manosphere who are extremely mad at Kevin Samuels for the way he handled the interview. They thought he was simpish. He didn't take on Nicki Minaj. But many of you have to understand, Kevin Samuels is not just trying to go and stay on YouTube. Kevin Samuels has a plan. He wants to go mainstream. And Kevin Samuels did know this because this is a man who does plenty of research. He knows where he really wants to be. And he knows everyone was watching how he would handle Nicki Minaj. You know Nicki Minaj is a very aggressive woman. Even she said she has some masculine traits. This is why many people would say that Kevin handled her with kid gloves. But he handled her like a professional would handle Nicki Minaj while doing an interview. Kevin wants to be mainstream. He possibly want to be having a syndicated show. And plenty of people out here were watching Kevin Samuels, seeing how he would react when Nicki put that pressure on him. You know, when Nicki said, "How would you rate me?" She felt as though she was a 7. He said that she was a 9. And you could tell how Nicki wanted the nonsense. You could tell how Nicki was trying to press the issue on Kevin Samuels, but he didn't fall for it. One thing Sun Tzu said, you never attack when someone throws insults at you. They want a reaction. Nicki wanted to fight, but she couldn't find one. And when people look who maybe want to put Kevin in a position to have something that's syndicated, they would say this guy was pretty good. No, he can't handle Nicki, Brittany Renner, Tommy Lee the same as he would handle an average woman. You know, Jimmy Johnson, the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, once said, "I don't treat all my players the same. I don't treat Michael Irvin the way I treated Curvin Richards, because there is levels to this game if you want to go somewhere above where you are at." We saw Nicki tell black women that you should take care of yourself. You shouldn't worry about black men. But we have heard that for the last 50 or 60 years. You don't need no black man. Basically, you don't need to worry about how they perceive you. A man perceives a woman. That's the nature of a human being. He looks at her looks. He checks out her size, her intellect, all those things that come together and possibly trying to make that individual their mates. And you could see during the interview when Nicki was answering questions, after she was answered, you saw the Nicki Minaj reactions, the eye rolling, putting her head up, because Nicki was trying to sun Kevin Samuels. But Kevin Samuels stayed cool. This is not the interview many of you men in the manosphere wanted. You wanted a knockdown, drag out, 12-round battle. But Kevin Samuels fooled Nicki Minaj She may have won in the way her masculinity was presented. She talked about that she was a little too aggressive, but most men don't want aggressive women. Most men want women who happen to be extremely feminine, the opposite of what they are. This was an interview to watch and see the perceptions of both individuals and how they presented themselves to the public. Kevin presented himself as a future person in daytime talk in America, possibly syndication. Nicki presented herself as the strong, harsh, intelligent black woman who were going to defend black women against Kevin Samuels. The Kevin Samuels that you saw in this interview wasn't the Kevin Samuels she thought was coming to the game. He put that head fake on her. He stayed cool. And a lot of people was like, he was starstruck. He wasn't starstruck. If he was to interview Rihanna, Beyonce, Adele, how would you interview her? You would do it professionally. You would treat her according to her status in the industry. You wouldn't go off on a tangent. How you feel about this? What's your size? What's your basically, how do you rate yourself? He would not do that. Matter of fact, she asked him, what would you rate me? And he gave her a 9. She gave herself a 7. So when you in the manosphere, you look at this interview, you have to look at it in a different way. You can't look at it as a YouTube interview and he's basically interviewing the average woman who comes on his show. This man is trying to make moves. And when you're trying to make moves, those in power want to see if you can control yourself. Can you do that serious interview and not get out of control? And the perfect person to show that he could do a proper interview like this is Nicki Minaj. Because Nicki Minaj is a type of woman who loves to press buttons. She loves that drama. Okay? Kevin didn't give it to her. Kevin gave her an interview. Kevin let her speak. Kevin was respectful. He was the person that she thought he wasn't. He came as Kevin, the serious reporter. And that in her own way shocked her. Now, plenty of Nicki Minaj followers are saying that Kevin is on our side. We broke Kevin. We broke Kevin. No, you didn't. You got to understand, you have to know the room. You have to know the situations that you happen to be in. You're not going to talk to the CEO the same way you talk to someone on the line. You're going to give the CEO much more respect. And that's what Kevin Samuel did with Nicki Minaj. So you have to see this in a different perspective. Can't see this as a regular YouTube interview with a young lady calling up. You're talking about a world-class superstar, a female. You have to treat her in a certain way. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, but also share this video.